Here we go. Hey, girl.
Hey.
Oh, I'm so sorry, girl. When I tell you, I just wanted to cry.
That's all right. It happens.
It does. It's live. I know it's live now. So
All right. Emily able to do it too?
yeah, she's the one who said 5:30. So I'm just waiting on her to get on,
Okay.
and we're gonna knock this out and get it over with. Are you glad to be home?
Yeah, but too much. Too much for one first day. Way too much. Hold on 1 second. So who doesn't live in Georgia? Because someone kept saying 5:30 Georgia time.
I think we thought that you didn't.
Oh no, I live in Athens.
She may. Emily, do you live in Georgia?
No, I live in Alabama.
Oh, okay, that's why.
Yeah, that's fine. Because I was like 6:30. Like I don't know what I was thinking. I was like, wait, I've got to be at the rehearsal at 6. Like, oh my god. No, but this is good. I'm just gonna like put on my makeup while y'all are doing those parts.
I'm about to forward this phone, so just give me 1 second. Can y'all hear that music?
No, not anymore.
Y'all don't? They're having an event, like, right outside, and they didn't close the door, so.
All right, let me share.
Oh, this is so much bigger because I can see it now. Ooh, that's good.
Okay, got my screen shared.
Kayla, this is what we were talking about. If you want to share your screen too, so you see what we see, so because what it's gonna do is when you talk, it's gonna switch to your face.
So how? Okay, I'm talking right now and it's still on the screen.
Do you have it like checked so because you can check it so it only sees, so that you only always see one thing.
To the
How do I do that?
Left hand side is a
Okay.
green arrow thing.
Got it.
And then
you click it.
like click the one that says Google Hangout because I did the wrong one earlier.
Screen share for Hangouts. Well, okay, so I'm not going to mess with it because I can see the presentation.
Okay.
So I'm not going to touch it.
All right. We're live, so this is gonna work.
We're definitely recording.
Yes. If it says live, then we're good.
Okay, got it. Yeah, we're live. All right. Do y'all want me to start?
Yeah, go ahead.
All right. This is our final presentation on problem-based learning. My name is Emily Gamble.
Kelly Guglietta.
And Jasmine Reed.
Our problem statement that we came up with as a group for our case was, after reading the case study, The Little Engine That Couldn't, and conducting case study research, our group concluded that Russell struggled to engage and motivate his students in whole group and small group settings due to a misguided view of students in low-income and socioeconomic status homes, lack of parental support, and lack of modeling expectations. So in this presentation, we'll go through and talk about how all of our content areas link to how Russell could motivate his students.
So our first content area is students in low incomes and socioeconomical homes. Some diverse methods of teaching. Russell needed to learn to teach students of low socioeconomic status. Also, the Latino parents, according to research, do not view their job as teaching their children. They feel that the job to teach their children is from the teacher. Also, Latino students have concerns for independence of family as well as loyalty to their culture. Also, Paula does not see that there are limited rewards waiting for her in the workplace. She feels that we noticed that many jobs available to Paula are barely paying minimum wage. and due to her lack of understanding of the significance of the college education, Paula is not able to see that minimum wage is what's offered to adults that receive a high school diploma and do not try to get a college degree. And according to the longitudinal study of about 3,000 students from ages 3 to 16, EPBSE concluded that parents' socioeconomic status and levels of education were directly related to that of their children, meaning that if parents were not educated any higher than high school, more than likely their children were not educated or motivated to do that as well. Next slide. So some of our solutions for the content area. Russell needs to understand the disadvantaged position of the working class children. He needs to understand different ways to motivate them. Some ways we could help Russell would be to attend cultural diversity trainings. Those are offered by county and throughout the states, receiving professional development credit. Also, he could better himself by communicating with parents so they do not feel powerless and frustrated due to lack of information. Being the 5th day of school, Russell seems to not have made many connections with the parents or received much information about Pat and Pat's family in regards to Paula and her needs. Also, Russell could spend more time finding Paula's motivation through an icebreaker activity and questions inside the classroom. So we concluded that Russ could basically participate more in finding out information about his students and to see what motivates them to hopefully change Paula's mind about education, and if not, at least changing her mind about being prideful in her work. Next slide.
Okay, the next content area that we focused on was parental support. Parental support is an important component of a student's success during their educational career, and we have research that shows that parental support also benefits a child's learning as well as their academic success, and this improves the student's outcome as the parents become more involved. We also, in the case study, we saw that Russell was having a hard time getting one of his students, named Paula, to actually have confidence in herself. She was doing great in the class, but every time she got accolades for doing good, it was like she always said, "Oh, I'm just lucky." So this concerned Russell, so he decided to take a moment and actually call home to see if an issue was happening at home that made her feel this way. So he called Paula's mother, who is Pat, and she actually stated that education isn't a big part of her child's or her family's. It's not a big issue that they try to actually go for as a family. So they found out that Paula's mother did not finish. Russell found out that Paula's mother didn't actually finish school. Only her father did. Pat feels like that the best thing for Paula to do is to actually, just get her high school education, not necessarily worry about college, because they did not have a lot of people in there. They do not know anyone who actually went to college. So therefore, getting a local job at a factory, getting married and having children is basically how they seek success. And there's nothing wrong with seeing success that way, but this is the parental support that Paula receives when she's home. So we decided that a few solutions that Russell could have is he could implement the Funds of Knowledge program, and this is actually when teachers go into the home or they go into their student's home and they visit. So they get to know a little bit about the family, they get to know the family culture, and what things the student is actually used to. So they use this knowledge that they receive when they are in the use of familiar tools they receive to actually teach the class, and this helps the teacher actually find common areas within all of their students. From a case study that we looked at, there was one teacher who decided to go into the home and use Funds of Knowledge, and she found out that one common area between all of her students were horses. And so what she decided to do, instead of changing her lesson plans officially, she decided to have the students interact and ask questions that they may have had about horses, because everyone had either, seen horses before, rode horses, or they knew someone who actually had horses, so they had a lot of interaction with them. So by doing this, she was able to engage all of her students, and they found the motivation that actually made them want to actually be in class and teach their peers about their family culture. By doing this, another solution that we had is for the teacher to do classroom visits, and this is basically with the teacher and the student's family. And so this provides positive at-home cultural experiences for the student, as well as great classroom dynamics for the teacher. So there's more respect that comes from when the teacher can get more of a background of their student, and when the family can get more of a background of what their student actually does when they're in class. And so this parent-teacher connection, as I said, would bring more respect, and the teacher could use more knowledge to actually to connect all of the students who are in the classroom, whether they're low socioeconomic status or not, together.
Our final content area that we related back to how Russell could have motivated his students was that he could have done more modeling and explicit explanations for his students. A big focus from our textbook, Woolfolk talks about how the beginning of the year is so crucial for students to be going through those routines and procedures and getting them used to how their classroom is run. It gets them used to teacher expectations. And this is something that we thought of because at the beginning of the case, it talks about how this is only the 5th day of school and Russell is very frustrated with his students. This translates into how Russell decided to group his students. After meeting with a colleague, they decided that Russell could group his students based on ability and socioeconomic status. And once he did this, he realized that his high groups were flourishing. They were able to assign roles, look up resources, begin their writings or their projects way more easily than the low group of students were. I remember at the beginning of the case study, one of the girls, the low group was struggling to get started, and Russell asked his students if they'd ever participated in group work before, and one of the girls answered, well, yeah, we've done it before, but somebody's always kind of done the work for us, like one person takes it and runs with it. So this lower group of students has a hard time getting started, and where the high group was flourishing and they were able to do these parts of group work independently, the low group struggled to get started. And so Russell began to just assign roles, tell them which topic they were going to be researching, and this led to a lack of student autonomy. This lower group of students had no say in what they wanted to research. And when students have a choice and they feel like they're being listened to, their interests are being heard, they have more autonomy. They feel like they can, they take ownership of their work. They feel like they can direct their learning, which in turn builds student self-efficacy. And I feel like that's something that Russell's lower group of students was really struggling with. Next slide. So some solutions that we come up with for this area is the gradual release of responsibility model that Russell could incorporate into his teaching, especially with his lower groups. So those groups that are struggling, take them through the process of, say, step 1 in group work is assigning roles. Well, he can begin by kind of doing the I do model, like he thinks aloud as he thinks, oh, well, I'm really interested in this, so I can take this part of the group work, or this is my strength, whereas this is my weakness, so I can do this within our group. And then it translates into he and students deciding those roles together, talking through what they're good at, what their strengths and weaknesses are, and eventually students are able to assign roles independently within the group. And the same thing can go for as students begin conducting their research. Russell thinks aloud and models how to find the best resources. Then he works with them as they all figure out how to find the best resources to benefit their group, and then they move to finding those resources independently. Another solution that we came up with was the use of anchor charts in the classroom. This also influences student autonomy because the students are able to think a lot and brainstorm together. They can come up with a topic, say they're going through group work, and they want to talk about resources and what are the best resources. They can fill an anchor chart. The top just says resources, and then the students can go through and brainstorm together and just really flesh out their thinking and write those ideas on anchor charts, the best things that they can use, and then post those anchor charts around the room so that any of the groups can go back and refer to those anchor charts, and that can be for independent work or small group work or done as a whole group. So we see how all of our solutions relate back to motivation, and they're all very intertwined, and we feel that Russell would have more success in his classroom if he really took the time to get to know his students, to build those relationships with his parents, and to really model his expectations for his students. Next slide. And here's our reference page. Thank you for listening.
I think we are good. So I'm going to go ahead and end it. But thank y'all so much. I will...
Hey, check one of Emily's slides. The last wolf hook didn't have a capital W. I just don't want her to take off or something stupid like that. It was a lowercase.
Oh, well, it'll be on. Is this recorded?
I can edit this out.
Yeah, she said, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I can edit the beginning part and the end part out.
Okay. Awesome. All right. Thank you, Jasmine, so much for doing this.
No problem. Thank y'all.
Hey,
and I'll
rehearsal.
when I said send it or submit it.
Okay. Awesome. Bye, y'all. Have a good weekend.
You too.
Bye.
Bye.